Hello and welcome to this Wednesday edition of The Box Seat. I'm Mark Olmos and joined by a new panel guest, Mark Warwood. Great to have you here while Adam's on holiday.
Thanks, Mark. We've got a great meeting here, very competitive racing, 8 race card at Ascot. Let's get into it.
Yeah, we should indeed. We'll have a quick look at the conditions and weather before we get on to race number one. Looks to be a perfect day for racing, 29 degrees and sunny with light breezes, so every runner should get their chance. Let's head into race number one. And this race, Mark, it's a maiden for the 3-year-olds here, and there looks to be a couple of interesting runners, including one that drops significantly in class, as well as a Geraldton-trained galloper.
Yeah, we're going to look at the replay of JENABEL, chained by Ashley Marley, and his runner-up finished behind Balboa's Girl at Geraldton.
4 off the rail, and then comes Fear Hildy further out, and Balboa's Girl now obtains an inside run as JENABEL had taken the lead with around 200 to go. Balboa's Girl over on the inside is after the favourite JENABEL, and Fear Hildy is running on strongly as well. JENABEL's lifting, knuckling down. Balboa's Girl fighting, grabs it.
A nice performance there by JENABEL. Had to track a little bit wide there at Geraldton, but from barrier one on Wednesday with the cutaway, shouldn't have too many issues. Was a beaten favourite last start, which is a concern, but hopefully at a more attractive price can get the job done.
Look, Mark, I don't have her in my numbers. I quite like the chance of persistence time. Second up here, first up was in the Salonis Lestier Classic. You know, the stable must have a decent rap on this horse to put it in there first up. Wasn't beaten too far, 3.5 lengths. The speed figures out of that race pretty good. That's my on-top selection, certainly. Yeah,
I think coming down in class is certainly a big issue, but handled itself well in listed company. That has to be respected. 100 to 1 behind Loose Saha. 3.5 lengths out of that race into this race certainly has to come into calculations.
Yeah, sure. Another horse I'm interested in is Thunderboom. Only had one run, was beaten 1.5 lengths on debut. You know, you'd expect it to make a big, significant improvement from that. Probably wouldn't have to improve a great deal to figure in the numbers here, certainly in my top 3. That
Bunbury race has been an excellent form line. Beat Paradini on that occasion, which has since come out and won at short quote. Paris, Texas has come to town last Wednesday and ran a very nice race for second. The money came for it on that occasion too. So plenty to like out of that race. It followed the winner in running. It was 50 to 1. It followed Paris, Texas and was slow away. So arguably should have finished a lot closer. So certainly a very good chance from barrier 6.
Mark your numbers?
Mark rather. Great to have you here with us. I've got the 10 on top. JENABEL there, ahead of number 2, Persistence Time, 1, General Husson and 11, Thunderboom.
I've got number 2, Persistence Time on top from number 1, General Husson, number 11, Thunderboom and number 7, Guns of Navarone.
Race number 2 at Ascot is the Presets Performing Perth Cup, 31 December handicap, over 1,600 metres. It's for the No Metro wins last year horses. And Mark, up the top there, William Pike takes the ride of a class dropper.
Yeah, SASSO'S Circus from the Durant and Miller Yard. We're going to look at the replay from 2 times out. He was behind Cronkite's at Ascot, beaten 1.8 lengths.
Fathoms of gold, boom, boom, bang. Here comes Maserati starting his run down the outside with Cronkite. Ripperio could be in a bit of bother at the 100. Maserati and Cronkite coming in the middle. Cronkite, Maserati are going stride for stride. Cronkite, Maserati went to the line. Maserati.
A very game run on that occasion, was back at last position and then had to round the field around the turn and came to the extreme outside and ran a really nice third there behind Cronkite and of course Maserati, who since came out and won. Now its last start in easier company was a little bit disappointing behind Yoshi Knox. Looked to have all the favours in running but just couldn't finish off. Back down in class with William Pike on. Looks to be well suited here, especially considering the track and distance record.
Look, yeah, I've got him in my numbers. Look, he's a multiple city winner. He's got Pike on board. You can't really argue with that. I certainly think he'll be in the finish. One of the horses I'm interested in is Little Shadow. It's been up for quite a while, continues to try hard. This is easy in its last start. And what appeals to me about this in this particular race is that probably finishes better than most of these here, and I don't think it's going to take a great deal of winning. If you can reproduce its finishing burst that it's quite capable of doing, I think it's going to be right up there.
As the name suggests, Little Shadow, there's not much of this 7-year-old mare by Oratorio. Has had 50 starts, this will be her 51st start. As you mentioned, Mark, those form lines behind Variation, the eventual WA Guineas winner, very, very good. And then Antique Dream was impeded until the 125 metre mark last start, so there are excuses there. Certainly has to be considered a chance. Only concern is hasn't won in 461 days, but you should get a good each way odds about this galloper.
You look, I think we're both interested in Helms Gate, the number 3 here. Randy Tan takes the claim for Vaughan Sigley. What are your thoughts on that horse?
Yeah, it comes out of that same race as SASSO'S Circus behind Yoshi Noxious as well. And look, performance last start, a little bit disappointing. The start before that, behind Step Right Up, It was good on that occasion, but you have to question, Step Right Up hadn't won in about 1,100 days, so the form around that is questionable. Push to pass, the run first up was very good, I thought. Randy Tan claiming 2, certainly an advantage, but barrier 2 looks to be the main positive.
Mark, your selections in this race?
Mark, on top for me, I've got the 1, SASSO'S Circus from the 5, which is Little Shadow, 3, Helms Gate, and 4, Not Again Ken.
I've got number 5 on top, that's Little Shadow from number 1, SASSO'S Circus, number 6, MAKATIES Keeper, and number 3, Helms Gate.
Race number 3 on this Wednesday program at Ascot is the Get the Tab Touch handicap over 1,400 metres. It's a Class 3 affair, and Mark, our replay horse, we're going into a trial which a couple of these runners feature, but the winner was mighty impressive sitting outside of the leader.
Yeah, we're going to look at Flying Image and Bachelor's Prospects, both of whom we're going to talk about later.
Leads by about a long neck, moving up Flying Image to the outside, and they're 2 lengths in front of Generous Choice. McCavity the inside from Scarlet Storm, and Bachelor's Prospect is putting in a run down the centre of the track. Flying Image hit the front from Taken High. Here's Bachelor's Prospect descending, then McCavity. Bachelor's Prospect after Flying Image. Flying Image responds though just in front of Bachelor's Prospect.
Yeah, really good trial there by Flying Image. Sat outside the leader the whole way and ran really nice time on that occasion. Beat the likes of Taken High and McCavity as well in that trial. So McCavity since come out and won. And for barrier 8 here, Flying Image looks to be a really, really nice chance. The other one out of that trial was Bachelor's Prospect. It hit the line well from last. Has had 2 runs this preparation already and looks to be a major, major chance here, Mark.
I think he hit the nail on the head there. He's had 2 runs this preparation. Flying Image is first up. These horses have met a number of times in their career, and Flying Image has had the better of him most of the time, but I think he's going to turn the tables here. Third up, forget last time, missed the start, complete forgive run. The other horse we're interested in is MEDOM, Mark.
Yes, first up here. Recent trial was good. It won that trial in reasonable time, 56.5 there. Brad Parnham Road, Clint Johnson Porter, the 2 kilo claimer, takes the right here. Look, from barrier 5 should get the right run, but has never won at this track or place. So, look, it'll be interesting to see. Some horses do handle Ascot, some don't. He's trained here, so he should handle it, but first up record is very good too.
Mark, your selections in this race?
Mark, I've got on top number 7, Bachelor's Prospect, one of the horses we saw in the trial there. From the 4, Flying Image, 2, Russian River, and the 5, MEDOM.
I've got the same exactor as you. Number 7, Bachelor's Prospects, from number 4, Flying Image, number 5, MEDOM, and number 6, Long Overdue.
Race number 4 at Ascot is the Devil's Lair handicap over 1,100 metres, and Mark, this is a very good race with some up-and-coming types which we may see on a Saturday.
Yes, we may well. There's some interesting runners here. We're going to look at a couple of them at Bunbury last start. A race won by MENIN.
In came our Contessa in the straight though, and MENIN dashed up on the outside, hit the front, going to the 250. MENIN shot away. Over on the inside, King of Chaos and Happy Harry is sticking on. MENIN is the leader from Happy Harry. Then came on the inside, King of Chaos, but MENIN is holding Happy Harry in the run to the line, and a little too good MENIN.
A nice performance there by this son of Oratorio. Molly Clark rode on that occasion and she keeps the ride here, claiming 3 kilos. Barrier 1 looks ideal for this horse to just jump out and go on with the job all the way. It will be the one to catch in the straight. The other one that came out of that race was Cloak and Dagger, gelding by Scandal Keeper. Now, it was well back on the inside and made up significant ground in the latter stages, so certainly 2 to watch out there.
Look, I'm a numbers man, and I don't really like the numbers out of that race. I'm a big believer in these races where you have a number of first starters to go with the exposed runner that's got the best form. In my opinion, that's number 7, DIRAJA Jewel for the Simon Miller yard. Peter Nucky stays on top. Won at York last time out. He'll do me.
Yes, DIRAJA Jewel is filly by Demerit. We saw last preparation was disappointing to punters. Been beaten as favourite on 4 occasions now. It came out first up and won at York. Just got the job done there ahead of Rare Coin. We'll see how strong those form lines are here, but second up should certainly put in a good race, especially from the all-conquering Simon Miller stable.
Mark, your selections.
Mark, on top for me, I have number 3 there, Cloak and Dagger. From the 7, DIRAJA Jewel, 4, Mr. MURT, and the 2, CAROCAPO.
I've got number 7, DIRAJA Jewel on top. From number 8, the stablemate, Miss Swindle. Number 3, Cloak and Dagger, and number 1, MENIN.